How you doing, Mr. Flynn? Welcome to the Star Studio.
Oh, what's up, man?
I'm doing
Appreciate it.
good. I'm
What's
doing
going on?
good. I'm doing amazing, bro. So I want to know. I got to know. How much did you know about Frank Lucas before you hopped into this? Before you were selected for this role?
I mean, I knew a lot about him just based on the movie that I watched about those period in his life where he was, dealing with the police and, he went to the
Yep.
boxing match, all those things. I learned about those things already before, but, I had to do my own preparation and investigating about who the man was in the beginning.
So what drew you to this role, and how did you prepare to step into his world of of mess?
Right. What drew me to the role? I mean, many things. I mean, working with Forrest Whitaker being the main draw for me. When you're in this business, you want to work with people who do it the best, right? I mean, with any
Absolutely.
business, right? You want to work with the people who are better or at least more knowledgeable than you. And so getting the opportunity to work with him was a main draw. Working with Chris Brancato was also a main draw. I was a huge fan of Narcos and thought that series was very successful. And he was able to tell that story and make a guy who was seemingly unlikable very likable for people. And so I think he did the same thing with Bumpy. And also working with MGM Plus. I think they're, they're kind of like one of the best kept secrets as far as streamers go, because I feel like people get oversaturated with content a lot. Um, and I think MGM is making shows and putting films out that I like to watch. They have another show called From that I was watching and I didn't even
From his
know it was on
fire.
MGM Plus. And I was like, yeah, From is lit, So I'm like, yeah, I get to work on a series that's kind of at the forefront and pushing certain shows out and narratives. Like I want to definitely be doing that.
I love how you brought up Forrest Whitaker, a legend in the game, and you'll be working alongside him. What was it?
Mhm.
Was this your first time working with Forrest? And what was there anything you learned from this experience?
Yeah, it's my first time meeting him, first time working with him. Was a huge fan of him. I just told him like, yeah, man, I've been following his career and just giving him his flowers while I could do it personally. Um, yeah, I never met him before that point, so I didn't know anything about him personally. Uh, but he was a very kind and great scene partner, and he didn't necessarily give me any gems. Like we didn't talk specifically because like doing a show like this, you got to understand like it's already difficult, and when you're working, you're already late. The moment you start filming, you're late already. And so for me, I'm like trying to be focused and make sure I bring the best version of Frank Lucas I can. So it's left very little room for me to kind of navigate having conversations as myself. But I did learn a lot just by watching him and just being in scenes with him as well.
Were you into Godfather of Harlem before you joined the cast?
Yeah, for sure. I watched it. Actually, the reason I got put onto the show as far as watching it was my homie Kelvin Harrison Jr. was on the show, and we've been, that's been my brother for a long time. And he was just telling me about how he was doing this series, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna check it out. So I ended up watching it because of that reason, and then just got put on after that. I was watching. I think I started season 1 and season 2. I just watched them all, and then season 3 I actually started watching right before I filmed, which was cool.
Nah, fire. Was there any personal connections to the storylines or any themes of Godfather of Harlem that for you maybe? I don't know if you're from New
Yeah.
York or you've been out there a
No,
little bit.
no. No, I'm from Chicago, but I do think there's certain, the vibe is still parallel. I
Yeah.
think people think about Chicago and New York being similar in a sense. Um, but I didn't have any personal connection with Frank, or I didn't know anyone that knew him. But obviously he is one of the most notable characters, or not characters, notable people in general. When you look at like American history, I think you can't tell them the American history as far as drug history without saying his name. And so knowing that, I was like, I wanted to make sure I knew all the details about him that I could find.
Yes, sir. So I hope this doesn't go a little too deep, but for our
Hmm.
community, why do you feel like we're so into these drug shows and drug recreations like BMF and obviously Godfather Harlem?
Yeah, there's other shows like Power, is one of
Power,
those
yeah,
shows as
yeah.
well.
Raising Canaan. Yep, you're right.
Raising Kanan, yeah. Well, for one, I don't look at it as a negative. I think that these shows are just really well done. Like, and there's not many shows that are on TV that are like this. You only name like 4 or 5, but that's basically it. Like, for instance, if you wanted to go watch a procedural, if you wanted to go watch a procedural show, you can go watch. I mean, you could name off 10 of them probably. whether it's firefighter, police, doctor, whatever. And I think there is a
Chicago
certain
Fire.
itch that people want to scratch. Yeah, it's got fire. There's a certain itch that people want to scratch. And as far as, crime, I mean, it's no secret. I feel like most people have like a guilty pleasure on watching those crime shows, those, it was MSNBC shows. Like people just like watching those, which is why a show like Law and Order has been on TV longer than I've been alive, I feel like.
Real.
So yeah, I definitely
It's
feel
true.
like there's a little bit of a niche there for people, and it's not as global though. Even though in our community we watch these shows a lot, I think other people are still sort of catching on and realizing that they're really dope.
What do you hope people take from not only your role, but from this new season of Godfather Harlem? Viewers take away from the season.
Yeah, yeah. I just hope people come in with open mind as it relates to Frank. I think it's gonna be hard to do because you stepping into shoes that are pretty big, and people are gonna already have their preconceived notions and ideas about Frank Lucas because Denzel Washington playing him in the film. But I want people to go into it with an open mind. Now, here's the thing: if you're seeking out watching this show, for one, if you haven't heard about it or watched it yet, then you just kind of under a rock and maybe, start at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Start at season one. But if you're checking it out because you already been a fan, then I think you'll love it. I think you'll love season four. It has much of the same of the things that you liked in the first three seasons, and I think even a little bit more. Um, and also the approach and introducing Frank Lucas right off the bat, like we right in the mix. Like we don't waste no time in establishing what kind of guy that he might be on this show.
I love that. I love that. Y'all dive right into it, man.
Yep.
I want to talk about something I think probably a month ago at this point. How do you feel about being a meme now?
Am I mean? What
You
meme
a
you
meme,
looking about,
bro.
Rich?
So you got Drewski and Kai hating on your
Oh,
championship, man,
yeah, that's
or
right. That's
on your
right.
MVP trophy.
That's right. That's a fact. Nah, man. I like those dudes, man. They are genuine to themselves, and I also think about the fact that they live online. Like they stream themselves every day, every waking moment. And I feel like it would be really hard to
To do that.
consistently be yourself and do that. And they just kind of remain to still be humble and down to earth, which is dope.
Could you take me back to Celebrity Game, man? How was it hooping with
Yeah.
some of these people, being coached by Barry Bonds, I believe, correct? Um,
Yeah, Barry
how how
Bonds. Yeah.
how was it? How was that experience?
It was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I've accomplished a lot in my life, but this is up there. It's up there because there is no subjective uh perspective when it comes to sports. Like you either are
You
skilled
either
or you
him or you
aren't.
not.
You either got it or you don't got it. And
Yep.
I got to say that I got it on the biggest stage that I could probably ever potentially play on, which is, in conjunction with the NBA, playing on ESPN. When the shots fall, it's like, man, later on, you like, damn, I can't believe those fell. But, I hoop all the time, so it didn't feel like there was any pressure.
Yeah.
The interesting
So
thing I
you're
would say
really a
is
hooper.
playing in front of that
What
many
you
people
do?
was cool too, though. Huh?
So you're really a hooper. This is what you do.
No, I actually do hoop, and a lot of guys know that. A lot of guys in the league know that too, because I play with a couple guys. So the only people that didn't know were, I guess, whoever is setting the bets, because nobody had me on the list, and whoever bet on Druski, y'all deserve to get y'all money lost.
Gotta
Like
say it
that's crazy.
again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yo, you are funny. That is the truth, man. I guess. Are you gonna come back next year to defend your MVP?
Absolutely. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm putting it in my contract. These days, I'm not here. Like I'm going to the NBA and I'm reaching glory again. Because it's gonna be in LA. I need that. I need that trophy.
Gotta be there. Need it in front of LA. Oh yeah, the LA crowd.
Yeah,
That's
yep,
gonna be
yep.
crazy. So, in your opinion, give me your top three roles.
Roles that I've done or roles in general?
Yes.
Roles I've
No,
done.
roles that you've done.
Those that I've done. Top three. Godfather of Harlem, I feel like is one for me. People haven't seen it yet, obviously, but my process in creating this guy and this character uh, was the most challenging I feel like that I've ever been in my career. So hopefully it's a big payoff where I've already feel like I've been paid off for it because of, you know, just being given the opportunity to play him. But as people watch it, it's a whole different like feeling and approach. So I would say that's number one. Number two, I would say, Gabriel Maddox, working alongside Viola Davis was just a dream. You know, it was, I don't even know if I realized how incredible that was. I did. The last season I just knew, and we realized it was the last season. I was like, is that at that point, like the time was ticking, and I was just like, every day down was a day less that I was gonna be able to work with her and just be around her, because she's just, man, she just got so many amazing things that you just want to hear from someone like her. And she just had an amazing, and also just troubling life as well. And so I learned a lot about her. So, and then my third, I would say raising Dion. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I got a small, taste of playing a superhero in a sense, supernatural, which is why I want to do more. I think in my career, if I able to plan out what I could do next, would definitely be something along the lines of that, but with a really rich storyline, and be able to step in. I don't know what that could be, but
Hey, I
that's
don't
what I
know.
want.
I would love to see you on The Boys then. Like
The
that would
boys
be a
be
perfect
cool.
fit.
I think they almost done with their show, but
It is the last season
yeah,
coming up. You're right. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. So let's go. Let's talk about
One moment. So
oh good.